Facilitator and moderator, Ms. Tamika Obashan, Eastern Regional Outreach Officer, USPTO, and I will let you introduce your panel for this session.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us again today for this portion of the panel. And I'd like to introduce to you my esteemed colleagues, starting with Spruce Frazier. She's a librarian with the Patent and Trademark Resource Center program at the USPTO, and you'll be hearing more about the resources that are available through that channel. And also here we have Grant Corboy, who's joining us from the Office of Enrollment and Discipline. He's also a former patent examiner and also here to talk about the Patent Pro Bono program. So let's get started. Spruce?
Thank you for the introduction, Tamika. And I wanted to just start off by saying I'm a librarian. I've worked many, many years in libraries, especially as a Patent and Trademark Resource Center program. And there is a link on the website. If you go to the uspto.gov and go to the PTRCP, the PTRC is the program that we have. There will be a map online. Okay. I'll just show you where it is.
Dora Bessis joined us to speak on behalf of Trademarks, and you'll be hearing from her shortly as well. Thank you.
There are handouts that I'll be outside afterwards during the reception, and everybody can take one. And what I'm going to do is show you on the internet how you can find it from home, and you can take one of these home. So let's just start. I am a librarian with the USPTO, and what I would like to know is that if you have questions on how to do a patent or how to do a classification search, the librarians are trained by our program. It's been around for over 45 years. We have librarians across the country. There are 85 locations. They're in academic, public libraries, and state libraries. I worked 15 years in the St. Louis Public Library, and what I did, I was involved in the community with the Inventors Association, with the SCORE, the mentors that have had businesses, with the Trademark Law Clinic, with the Pro Bono program. We actually did outreach with the SBDC, with the SBA. We did a lot of interaction with everybody. Now, on the website, you can see learning and resources, and you go down here to researchers and librarians. And here you will see our webpage, and this is something that I update all the time. Just trying to get the mouse to stay in one place. Okay, so this is an exercise in where to find the PTRC that's next to you. And that is here on our map, which asks for information. Anyways, we have, again, from Puerto Rico, we have 2 locations in libraries there. We have one in Hawaii, we have one in Alaska, and we have here in Maryland. We have also in DC, and the 2 closest ones are those 2. And you can see across the country all the different types of libraries that we have. One of the things that these librarians can do is help you figure out what kind of help you need. If you need anything from a pro bono program, they'll help you guide to the location on the map where you can find that. In this page, you can find the different libraries, and if you search further down, say for example here, we're looking for Maryland, College Park would be the closest one, and it will tell you how to contact that person. And here's a phone number for the library, and here's their web page. So this is something you can do if you're going to other states. The librarians are around to help you, guide you as to what information you need to start up a business. They can help you find information during business plans. They can help you with research assistance. They cannot do the patent searching. We're not legal resources, we're librarians, but we can show you the tools. And that's something that's important to people who don't have a clue if it's a copyright, if it's a trademark. Sometimes you're not sure. We also support community outreach. So we'll do maker spaces. Some libraries have that already. They might be in a university. They might be in a public library, could be in a school. We'll support that and we'll do outreach. And, you know, one of the examples is that I'm here today to tell you about all the things we can do to help. We also are involved with the inventor associations. I was on the board and I was trying to get in St. Louis, not just men appearing on as a board member, but everybody. And so there were several other women that became board members when I was there. And that's the thing, that we go and do outreach with the community. We also get involved with the Boy Scouts, Girl Guides, the STEM programs, K to 12. Librarians reach everybody in the population. So if you're a mother and you have an idea, I know people that had an idea, they had jewelry in their kitchen, their daughters were working on it. And then by learning these are the tools in the community, they managed to, you know, again, get some design. They could patent it. They could trademark their business name. We will be there to show you on the internet where the USPTO has resources.
Spruce,
Okay.
excuse me. Can you talk a little bit about the patent public search tool?
Yes, there is a new tool that we have, and that's the USPTO has gone into new technology. Patent public search is used now for doing searches to see if there's any prior art, if somebody else had your idea. Our program, we're very closely related in the office area of providing webinars for the public. And twice a month, my teammates and myself have been a moderator where we have 1 hour presentations online, and you can find out how to use patent public search. Any questions that come in, they go into the public search facility, PSF at uspto.org.gov. And basically those questions are answered by our team and the patent public search facility. But those kinds of questions that come back from the public, we pass them on to the developers. So there are continuously improvements on that tool.
Thank you.
Okay.
And so we have a question. Okay.
Sure, you can just go, if you want to go up here to find it fast. This is always a trick. There's so much information, even as librarians, we spend a lot of time learning how to do searches, how to use the tools. And if you go up here, find it fast, there's a column for patents, there's a column for trademarks. So here's patent public search. And here you'll find the tool. That's what we were talking about. There's a basic search and there's an advanced search. And there's also, our team has helped set up this web page where we've written up FAQs, frequently asked questions. We've created training materials. We've also worked on different help resources. And as you go through this webinar, if you decide, anybody can go into the, again, from this website, you go to uspto.gov, you can find the times you will sign up online, and then you just have that time, and usually it's twice a month. Okay, usually it's probably around 2 to 3 in the afternoon Eastern time. But this is a tool that if you want any more questions about it, you can send your questions to PSF if you've been trying to do searches and you haven't figured out, and there's a quick question that you need to ask, or even a tough question. One of the things that we often do are answer research questions. So if you're trying to find prior art, you're not sure about something, or you want to learn how to do a trademark search, we'll show you the tools. And the librarians that are located in the libraries that are located on the map, like Maryland, it's College Park, you can ask them and they can walk you through it. You can set up a time and go and see them. And I've often had, when I was in St. Louis Public Library, I would get a lot of phone calls. I would do outreach. I would set up appointments. People would come in. I worked on Sunday afternoons, in the evenings, during the day. You could book 2 hours and you could stay all day doing searches, and I could show you the tools and you can, you know, keep asking questions. And that's what librarians like to do, help you. So we're here to help you. Okay.
Thanks so much, Bruce. Next, we'll hear from Grant. And Grant, can you tell us a little bit more about the Patent Pro Bono program?
Yes. So I tell people that I think I'm the luckiest person at the patent office, because what person wouldn't like to give services free of charge? And so everybody likes to see me when I come in, because otherwise, like, these expenses for attorneys are sometimes $400, $500 an hour. But these attorneys understand that it's out of reach for a lot of people, right? And because it's out of reach for a lot of people, and they understand that their resources are limited, that they have sort of an ethical duty and ethical obligation to give back to the community. And so I'm happy to say we have over 1,800 volunteers that have said, hey, I want to provide my services free of charge. That sounds like a lot of people, and it is. But the reality is they also have jobs as well. So sometimes you come in for the program and they screen you. And when you're screened, hopefully you meet the requirements and get approved for placement. And sometimes it does take a while to get matched. And that is because sometimes when you're ready to get matched, they might have a litigation or something else that's going on. And so we're always trying to get more people involved in the program, understanding that there's this problem of, we can never have too many volunteers that are helping. But in essence, this program is a dating service, right? That's the easiest way I can describe it, right? You go in as an applicant, apply to the program, and they screen you to get assistance. The major thing that they screen for is finances, okay? And the reason they do that is these volunteers are providing their services free of charge, so they want to make sure you couldn't otherwise afford it, right? It kind of makes sense. That number, just to give you a sense, because that's the critical one, is 3 times the federal poverty guidelines. The good news is, or maybe it's bad news, I don't know, is that recently they raised the federal poverty guidelines. You hear about this inflation that's going around. So they've actually raised what that number is, and then it's 3 times that. It's roughly $45,000 a year for a household income. Now, before you say, oh my gosh, Grant, that's really low, it's a household income. So if you have dependents, that number goes up based on the number of dependents. So what I always say is, if you're close, apply, right? Because they'll screen you, and when they screen you, they'll make that determination whether you can apply for the program. I don't have that thing up here, but this is the easiest way to get to our program. If you go on to Google, right, and just type in USPTO Patent Pro Bono Program. That's USPTO space patent space pro, is it like professional football, PRO, space Bono, BONO, space program. If you click that link in Google, the first one that comes up is our program. You click on that and it takes you right to the webpage. You don't even have to go through the USPTO webpage, you get right to it. Also, you'll see a search box in the top right corner. In that top right corner, as soon as you get to www.uspto.gov, type Patent Pro Bono Program. The first search box that comes up in the USPTO site will come right to our site. Again, if you go through, yep, thank you. Look at that. This is good stuff. So if you type Patent Pro Bono, yeah, click on that, please. Thank you. So that's it. The first thing that comes up are the 3 requirements. The 3 requirements are income, knowledge of the patent system, right? Income, knowledge of the patent system, and you have to have an actual invention. I'm sorry, your name is again up front here? Sonova? You asked that question, right? How do I, know if I have an invention or I've got an idea, right? Is the idea there? I say apply, right? Because if you apply and you get matched, the attorney can actually walk you through that and see if you have an actual invention, not just an idea. The other part is we have a class, and the reason we have this class, it's a course that's online. It's about an hour and 15 minutes, has about 6 modules. There's questions after each session. I promise you it's not that hard. You can keep answering the questions until you get them right. But the reason we do that is we want you to have an incredible interaction with your volunteer. And if you understand the patent process, and that's what this kind of course takes you through, you're going to be able to interact with your volunteer that much better. And so hopefully, and then one thing I will say is there is also a requirement, right, for this finance. Office of Enrollment and Discipline, which is where I work, we also shepherd the law school clinic certification program. And they're able to sort of waive their requirements a little bit from a finance standpoint because they're more interested in getting a better interaction with the student. So if you've got a really good idea, but you're slightly above those requirements, they're willing to sort of waive those requirements because they want to get the student a great learning experience in filing and preparing and prosecuting a patent application. If you go on this website, if you scroll up, you see that law school clinic certification program right there on the left-hand side. Thank you. That will take you to the law school clinic certification program. There's more than 60 law school clinic certification programs throughout the United States. And guess what? They don't only do patents, they also do trademarks. If you actually click on that top box, which get help from a law school clinic, a map will come up. If you go and just search and say, I'm from Maryland, right? You put Maryland in the search box, you'll see all those programs that cover Maryland. Also, some of the programs are not restricted geographically. So for instance, it'll say all United States. You could also go to the ones like I think Baylor might be all United States. You can actually apply to Baylor. I just basically say carpet bomb it, right? I would send emails out to everyone that says all United States, and hopefully you'll get, hopefully somebody will respond. You'll generate a standard email and then just start sending it to all of those schools. The reason we say go to the patent pro bono program first is because the issue with the law school clinic certification programs is the schools have to be in session, right? You've got spring semester, you've got fall semester. So if you've got a question in August, they might not be able to satisfy your need, right? If they're out in winter session, they might not be able to do that. So there's sort of a tier approach. I recommend going to the patent pro bono program and then the law school clinic certification program.
Awesome. Do you all have any questions at this time for Grant? Sure.
Just very quickly about the law school clinic certification program, I want to let you all know that the way the program works, there are students that are helping a practitioner, their professor, help you, guide you and file your applications and walk and really represent you. So it's a phenomenal program. I've worked with it. We started with 5 law schools and now we have 62 and they do a fantastic job. So that is really a great resource to also check into.
Thanks, Helen, and thanks, Grant. Now we'll hear from Dora Best. She's going to talk about trademarks, Trademark Assistance Center, and more. Thank you.
Thank you. So the Trademark Assistance Center is what I like to call the communication hub. We receive phone calls and emails regarding the trademark process. And a lot of our customers are similar to you, sitting in the audience. They're pro se applicants who are calling to find out how to protect their trademark. We're open from 8:30 a.m. until 8 o'clock p.m. and we're staffed with a group of employees who know the entire process. They're not attorneys and they can't provide you legal advice, but I call them navigators. They will navigate you through the process. So some of the typical questions that a pro se applicant would have: what's the difference between patents, trademarks, and copyrights? We've heard that here from Helen and we heard it from Gwen. They may want to know what class does my goods and services fall into? And although we will not tell you, we will direct you to where you can ascertain the proper class. We recently have launched the ID.me verification process, and that is a means in which you would verify your identity to help the office reduce ways for scammers to come in and try to not take your trademarks, but try to replicate different processes for your trademark. So it's just an added barrier. If your applications has to be filed through MyUSPTO. It's a process, another barrier in which to prevent anyone trying to do something unscrupulous to your trademark. Again, you've heard a lot from Helen and Gwendolyn. we're there to assist you. We are currently experiencing a backlog. It's taking about 9 months before your application is assigned. And that's because entrepreneurs and small businesses, they're filing their trademark applications. And to get this economy back on board, right, it's going to take the small business owners and entrepreneurs to do that. So we're seeing an influx of applications being filed by pro se applicants just as yourself.
Thank you, Dora. And I'll close with myself. I'm Tamika Obashan, the Eastern Regional Outreach Officer. We serve states from Maine to Florida, including the District of Columbia and Puerto Rico. But we also have additional regional offices throughout the country in Rocky Mountain, Colorado, Detroit, Michigan, Silicon Valley, and Texas. What we do is we work with our stakeholders, yourselves. We hear back from your experiences with the office. And also we provide programming and training. So if there's something that you're interested in learning more about, any level of intellectual property, for instance, protecting apps and software, as well as learning more about trademarks or intellectual property in general, we cover that as well. And so I just wanted to share that with you as well. So go ahead, Dora.
And there's one other thing also, to stay in tune to the process, we have a trademark boot camp. It's offered monthly by a phenomenal team of trademark attorneys. And you can find that information on our website. And it takes you from the beginning all the way to the end. The program is excellent. We call it a trademark boot camp. And for those who are interested in, if you're a paralegal, getting a certificate of attendance, they also do that once you've completed all of the classes. It will take you A to B all the way. It will train you and teach you. Now, it won't make you an attorney because we have attorneys to do that, but it will give you the basics of the trademark process.
Thanks for mentioning that, Helen, because, Dora, I see Helen over there talking about trademarks. That brings to mind the Path to Patent program as well. So it's a series, 6 to 8 part series on covering everything from, what is a patent to how do I file a provisional patent and so forth. So that's also one of the offerings that we have for events. And when you mentioned ID Me, that tool, we also have an updated version of our IP assessment tool, our IP identifier. And so please, when you have a moment, check out www.uspto.gov and put in IP identifier to find out more information. So.
I just needed to make a quick comment because anyway, there is also a patents boot camp. It is not offered as often as the trademark boot camp, but we are working on making that better. And also on the patent side, we don't have a patents assistance center. We do have our pro se assistance center, and all that information you can find online. There's a whole bunch of different programs.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I just wanted to add that there is an Inventors Assistance Center.
Yes.
They have been patent examiners, so they know the procedure, and they can be also phoned. And again, the number is on the webpage. If you want to come and see us at the outside in the workshop, what is it called? Workshop in the atrium, I can give you out handouts of where and the phone numbers, but also we can tell you where to find it on the web if there are any questions that you might have before you leave today.
Yes. Any other questions from the audience? No? Yes, please.
There's a comment online saying the boot camp was awesome and well worth the time invested.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that feedback.
I know we have thrown a lot of information at you all today, and I just wanted to round out one quick thing, which is we just launched an online tool. It's called the IP Identifier. It is a great starting point if you don't know what kind of intellectual property you have. For a starting point, it's been just 6 questions. It can help you figure out what kind of intellectual property you may have. And then based on that, you can then go and learn about that type of intellectual property. Okay, so it's a great way to get started. And it will also, at the end of being able to go through that, you can go to other parts of the website. You have a lot of great resources in terms of people and tools and just information online. So get it.
Thank you for your time today. We've really enjoyed your questions and your presence.